You're listening to The Break on SB Nation Radio.
And on SBNationRadio.com.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Brian Barrett.
All right, joining us now, he was an All-Pro in 2015, led the NFL in touchdown passes in 2005, won the Heisman Trophy in 2002. Carson Palmer, he's here on behalf of Cadenwood and its new performance-based CBD products, Cream Level Select. Level Select is an instant game changer meant to help maintain a healthy and active lifestyle, from smaller everyday activities to physical exercise, competitive sports, travel, and more. The CBD Sports Cream comes to market in 3 levels of intensity and goes on smooth without leaving a greasy residue. Carson, thank you so much for taking some time. Tell us about the great work you're doing with Level Select.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been a product that I've been using since retiring after playing for 15 years and having different injuries and issues physically and surgeries and all the likes that come with playing in the NFL. I was looking for a product that, I could still be active. I could still be outside running around with my kids, fishing and hiking and skiing and doing all the things that I love to do. And Level Select has been a product that's enabled me to continue being physical and continue being active and getting out there with my kids and coaching sports and all the things that I want to do and love to do. Level Select has been, a priority for me to use every day. I use it in the morning, I use it in the evenings before I go to bed, and it's helped me sleep better and sleep in comfort. But more importantly, it's helped me stay active and continuously do the things that I love to do.
And Level Select is now available at selectmylevel.com. Carson, do you think, you being somebody that was a former Pro Bowler and All-Pro, had a great NFL career, do you think this will help bring some awareness to the league and realize this is something that could really help some of the players?
Well, I think we're very, very close to that happening. I mean, players have been using opioids and Vicodin and Percocet and all those different opioids that are really, really harsh on your body and harsh on your liver and have a lot of issues as we see in the news every day throughout the country. So CBD is a great alternative to using some of those drugs that teams and doctors have been subscribing for years. It's something that I started to see at the end of my career in 2016. We started seeing it more and more in locker rooms, and it's really close, I think, to the NFL legalizing it and letting players use it in their own training rooms and in their own facilities on NFL sites. I think we're getting really close to that day.
Now, Carson, for you in particular, do you think if you were able to use this product for the majority of your career that you could have actually played longer?
No, I mean, I knew when it was time for me. Mm-hmm. 15 years was enough. Multiple knee surgeries, elbow surgeries, fingers, hands. I hit every category or every body part, I think, with the surgery. So after 15 years, it was time. But I just know on a daily basis, I'm way more active with this product with Level Select, and using CBD has enabled me to get down in a catcher's stance and catch pitches from my son that wants to be a major league pitcher. It's helped me live the life I want to live post football, and I think that's been it's been tremendous for myself and my family.
Carson Palmer is with us. He's here on behalf of Cadenwood and its new performance-based CBD Sports Cream Level Select. And Carson, you were referencing 15 years in the NFL, and you had that unbelievable second act in Arizona. So when you got there and you talked with Bruce Arians, when did you realize that you're going to put up some pretty ridiculous numbers there?
I think once we as an offense got comfortable within Bruce's system, it's a very complicated system. You saw some early struggles in Tampa Bay with their offense, trying to get accustomed to it and get used to it. It's not a system you just come in and pick up right away and know it inside and out. It's something that takes repetition and it takes time. And I think our first year with Coach Arians, we won 10 games and had some success. And really, it wasn't until that next off season after year one of being within his system and having OTAs and another training camp and 4 more preseason games and into year 2, where as an offense we really started to click and really started to take off.
Carson, you had, of course, already played at a high level, being a Pro Bowler multiple times in Cincinnati before you caught up with Bruce Arians. With Jameis Winston, now that he has Bruce Arians as his head coach, the beginning of his career has been a bit of a struggle with the turnovers, etc. Do you think Bruce Arians is the guy that's going to be able to fix Jameis Winston, or fix, for lack of a better term, but get his career on track where he looks like that number one pick?
I think if anybody can, it's Bruce. The confidence he gives you within the system, the options to get the ball out quickly, the options to be able to throw the ball down the field. They have two really good receivers in Godwin and Mike Evans. They have a really good offensive line. They've kind of rebuilt that offensive line, which is really important to have in his system because there are a lot of big 7-step drops and long developing plays where the quarterback has to hold the ball. So I think if anybody needed Bruce Arians in their life at any point in their career, I look at Jameis and think that this was just a terrific time for him to get a coach like Bruce. He's in year, I believe, 5 or 6, and he's got a big contract, hopefully at the end of this season. And he needs a guy like Bruce to really, for him to take off and really be the quarterback that everybody expected him to be when he was drafted number 1.
Carson Palmer is here on behalf of Caden Wood and its new performance-based CBD Sports Cream Level Select. All right, I feel like you're uniquely qualified to answer this question, Carson, because you played against such great defenses in the 2000s there with the Ravens and with the Steelers. Now, maybe there'll be some USC bias, but who is the tougher safety to play against, Troy Polamalu or Ed Reed?
Oh, man, that's almost impossible to answer. I mean, I think by far the best two safeties I ever played against, and maybe two of the best to ever play the game. And what's interesting about both those guys, they just played it so different and had so many different unique qualities that typically as a safety, you think those guys, they all need to be built the same, but both of those guys were built completely differently. They played the game differently. I mean, Ed spent most of his career in the middle of the field really kind of scanning the entire field and breaking on balls and making interceptions, where Troy played down in the box. Troy, he came down and covered tight ends one-on-one. He covered running backs one-on-one and was an unbelievable blitzer and a great tackler inside the box. So, I mean, two guys that played really the same position but just played it really, really differently. But in saying all that, I got SC bias. Troy's one of my roommates in college, so I got to pick Troy number 1 if I had to pick one of them.
No doubt about it, the loyalty. All right, Carson, Adam Thielen, he had a big game over the weekend at Minnesota, but 2 weeks ago he was complaining about the offense there. Stephon Diggs skipped practice because he wasn't happy with the situation. Now, they won last week, but it seems like these issues will return if they lose again in Minnesota. You've been around big personality receivers like Chad Johnson, of course, and you played with T.O. for a little bit as well. What advice would you give Kirk Cousins about the situation he's dealing with right now?
Well, I think, for anybody, winning cures all. When things are going good and you're winning, guys aren't as quick to complain, and it's not as easy to complain as it is when you're losing. So, I think there are 1 or 2 more losses from that whole thing, rearing its ugly head again and having more issues because, like we all know, the media takes a little bit of a story and runs with it and blows it out of proportion from time to time. And I think that's what Adam and Kurt were saying after this last blow up in Minnesota is that some, things got pulled from the story and some things got, it just kind of took on a head of its own and it got ugly and it got nasty, and it really wasn't that nasty of a situation when Adam came out and really kind of defended himself and defended Kurt. But they won, and it all kind of gets swept under the rug. As soon as they lose another one, all those things, the media's going to blow everything out of proportion again, and all those things are going to come back to a forefront. So it's not over. That situation there, if they don't win that division, there's going to be some interesting things that happen this offseason, and they're just one or two losses away from that story coming out again and continuing to grow.
Carson Palmer is here on behalf of Caden Wood and its new performance-based CBD cream level select, rather. Carson, so I'm looking at this now, and we look at the quarterback position. It seems like, from my perspective, the position's as deep as it's ever been. So many good young quarterbacks. I know your brother's worked with a lot of them. But to you right now, who's your favorite quarterback to watch?
Of the young guys?
Yeah.
I love watching Lamar Jackson play. I mean, it's a love-hate thing. I love watching him play. I hate seeing him take the hits that he's been taking. He is young, he is big and strong and capable of taking those hits. I just don't know how long he can take them for. But he's an absolute blast to watch. The whole Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, that whole draft class is really exciting. I think when you have a chance to sit back and look at this 2 or 3 years down the road, I think Josh Allen might be the best. It might be Sam, but I think Baker's, he's kind of reached his ceiling, I guess would be the best way to describe it. What you see is what you get, but with Josh and with Sam, you're going to continue to see those quarterbacks grow because they're nowhere near where their ceiling is, especially with Sam and the health issues he's got. I can't wait to see him get back out on the field.
Yeah, me neither. And Carson, before we let you go, tell us one more time about the great work you're doing with Level Select.
Yeah, it's if anybody's feeling discomfort or soreness or pain and has tried the pain pill world and wants to stay away from that, which obviously everybody highly advises, Level Select is a great alternative. It's been tremendous for me. It's helped me continue to do the things I want to do outside. You can buy it online at selectmylevel.com. Give it a shot. There's 3 different levels. Level 3 is what I use. It's got, I believe, 1,200 milligrams of CBD. It's a powerful, potent batch, but it's a product you can trust, and that's something that was very important to me. Is there's a lot of riffraff out there, and what Level Select has done is created a product that what you see is what you get. There's just CBD in it. There's nothing else you need to worry about. It's something you can trust and something that can enable you to do the things, the active things that you want to do, the things you want to do outside, whether it be working out, chasing kids around, or doing physical activities. It's something that can enable you to do that.
All right, that's Carson Palmer, an All-Pro in 2015, won the Heisman Trophy in 2002. Carson, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. Have a good